Shane Dawson talks about his downfall of a friendship with Trisha Paytas. He opens up about Jeffree Star, and according to my receipts, he talks about his cancellation and how it affected his mental health. This is the video that a lot of people have been waiting for. So we're going to jump right into it. Leave a like, leave a comment, and if you want, feel so inclined, join and become a member and subscribe. Here we go, chat. Let's hear what Shane Dawson had to say in this video. Here we go.
So I don't know if you meant to do this, but this kind of hurt my feelings, whatever. And when it does go bad, you're like, oh, thank God I did it. Because I could have been close with this person for years and just kept avoiding it. Because like with this person, I was like, hey, you know, you kind of did this thing and it hurt our feelings, you know, whatever. And then they went off on me.
Oh, and that tells you everything. You're like, okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is not the greatest energy. You have some stuff to work on. I think we shouldn't do this anymore together. Like, so, and when that happens, it's, or if you get a text from somebody and you get a pit in your stomach.
Oh, that's an indicator. Your body's telling you, like, this isn't good.
You should probably get out of this. Like, you should probably, so it's like, okay, or if you like, we had this one person who, I was like trying to be so nice about it. And I was like, I want to be really nice about it and just tell them, hey, this isn't working out. And so, you know, I sent it and I was like, worst case scenario, they say, blah, blah, blah,
fuck
right?
you, blah, blah, blah.
And then we get the text and it's the worst case scenario. And I was like, all right, good to know. But also the fact that I knew exactly what the worst case scenario
means that you already kind of knew.
You already knew.
Yeah.
You already knew. So trust your gut.
Yeah. Wait.
So, okay, so that was the clip. And now it's allegedly he was talking about Trisha Paytas. And if you guys don't remember, the downfall of Trisha Paytas and Shane Dawson was evidently Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson were hanging around a lot. And then Trisha felt disrespected by it because something happened in Las Vegas. And we tried to clear the air. There was a whole video that was supposed to drop beginning of this year, but Trisha didn't post the video. And people are saying that she didn't post the video because she would have to take some accountability and it would open up this whole can of worms, and she didn't want to do that. But her and Jeffree Star did squash their beef in that video that nobody saw. It was a podcast. See, she filmed a whole 3-4 hour podcast and nobody saw it. It was just a waste of time. All that to say this, Shane Dawson now is coming out and speaking, and people are saying, is this about Trisha Paytas? Now, he didn't say her name, but people are piecing it together because after that situation happened with Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star, and Trisha Paytas had a huge falling out with them, and she felt like Shane Dawson chose Jeffree Star over her, and so she had a huge breakdown. And this may seem what he's talking about, that the worst case scenario that she would lash out and have a mental breakdown, if that's even the right word to say, and basically just go off on Shane Dawson. So he kind of expected that to happen. And of course, like Trisha would milk their relationship for views and clicks, and it just would, you know, the whole friendship just fell apart. Which he is saying here that he's glad that he ended ties with allegedly Trisha Paytas because of how he felt when he would get text messages and his stomach would be like, oh, I don't know. And that is a good indicator when someone is just not like for you. You know, friendships, I think people forget that it's not that hard. Friendships should just flow and be really easy to talk to. And the minute you start feeling uneasy or you feel uncomfortable, do some shadow work, do some reflection, and make sure it's not you, you know, and then if that relationship is still bothering you, maybe that's a friendship not for you, you know, especially if you're always the one giving and they're just taking, especially if you see narcissistic tendencies, and you can navigate life a little better when you have that discernment and you're like, daddy issues, narcissistic tendencies, selfishness, and you can clock things from far away. And I think that Shane Dawson can get around certain people if he finds them as friends and then be able to clock what their flaws are, and if he wants to choose to stay and be a friend, he would. And I think with Trisha, he was like, this is just too much, because they still haven't spoken till this day. But he did speak about Jeffree Star, so here's what Shane said. Okay, so then Shane Dawson starts talking about Jeffree Boom Boom Star, and here's what he had to say about that relationship.
Thing is, like, people are never all good or all bad.
No.
Like, I don't believe in that at all. And I think when we start making those sweeping judgments, you know, that's when we find ourselves dehumanizing someone.
But here's the craziest part.
Okay.
I was doing it with people in my real life who I thought were hurting me or using me or whatever. And listen, a lot of them were. Like, I wasn't making it up. But with like my videos and stuff, my whole other mission was like, oh, I want to show that people aren't all bad. So like the series I was doing on, you know, Jeffree. And I because I love him, and I was like, I want people to see what I see. There's a gray area, like nobody is, because I'm not a black and white person at all. I always see the gray area, but it's only like specific people in my personal life. And I haven't been like this for years, but there was a moment where it's like specific people in my personal life who I was just like, they're out to get me, you know?
What?
Like, and even if they were, and I found out later they were, like, I still don't like when you're shit talking someone that hurts you. And, you know, my goal is always now to be like, okay, it's not as personal as I'm making it. This is how they are. They probably don't even know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, they want attention or whatever. It's like, I can't villainize people, because then and then when you villainize someone and then you never confront them, you get more mad. You hate them more and more and more.
It honestly only affects you.
And everything they do now is personal, like everything. And you're just like, oh, they hate me so much. They're doing, and it's like, wow, you should just talk to a friend or a family member and be like, hey, this thing you did hurt me. Can we talk about it? And that will save you 5 years.
But we're also afraid to think that's the thing.
So I've been using the salmon DNA or the salmon sperm by Medicube. It's like, it's a serum. You know, I'm not, you know, it's serums. Anyways, it's like, remember last year it was all about, what was it? Smell mucin. And then now this year it's all about salmon sperm. All right. Anyway, so, you know, he said he loved Jeffree Star and he didn't want, I think because he feels like a majority of people villainize, whatever, make him the villain to Jeffree Star. So he wanted to prove in his docuseries that Jeffree wasn't a villain. And so that's what he was saying here in this part of the podcast. So I also felt like in this part of the podcast, it kind of just like weaved into something else. And I don't know who he was talking about because he's not really saying any specific names other than Jeffree Star. And I just don't think he wants the drama. But with that being said, is Shane Dawson hinting that it was Trisha Paytas again? Like, is he talking about her again? And the fact that he's opening up about this situation and friendships. And I miss Shane Dawson, like, doing these documentary series on very just polarizing personalities. And I feel like he should go revisit and what happened to Graveyard Girl and what happened to, you know, this person, what happened to that person, and revisit those videos. I think people would love those and click. I don't understand why he stopped. Like, I think overall it was a good series to go to these influencers' houses and like tell their story. I do documentaries on them. Like, people would love that and really see them for who they are. And then ultimately there's like a conclusion to it all. And there's always like a thing that's always the same in each and every one of them. And I felt like that was like a missed opportunity for him. Maybe he just doesn't care, honestly. But I think like when he made those videos, everybody was tuned into it. That and his conspiracy theories at Disney. I like those two. I think those really hit hard. And now there's Epic Universe, and there's so much more videos that he can make about that. So anyways, then on this next part that we're going to be talking about, which is the final installment that I have here, is he talks about his cancellation, when he got canceled, and how it affected his mental health. A lot of people were shook by this, that he even mentioned it. I thought he was past it. At the time of making this video, it has over 141,000 views right now. That's what it has. And when he talks about Trisha Paytas, 328,000 views. So there's a lot of interest in. All right, here we go. Roll it.
Trying to explain to her like what I do and whatever, and then I got canceled, And having her was like such a godsend, such a universe orchestrated, because if I didn't have that, you know, because it was already almost game over, but like knowing, so, but anyways, throughout that, it kind of was like, okay, this was supposed to happen. Obviously, I still take accountability for all the shitty jokes I made and all the terrible videos and all of that. I've never been someone that's like, you know, like, you guys are overreacting. I think some people who wanted me dead were overreacting.
Well, I'm going to say there was some overreaction.
Definitely was some of that. I think it was also just the time period. It was such an intense COVID. Like, but I think everything happens for a reason. So for me, I was like, okay, this was a life-altering event. What am I learning from this?
Wow.
It made me focus on, I like didn't look at my phone for months.
Wow.
Like months. Like almost a year. I had to not look at any social media app because anytime I opened one, it was me and somebody being mean, or it was like panic attacks every day. I mean, imagine like, this is the craziest feeling. So, okay, when I did start finally watching like YouTube again, because I couldn't,
Well, everybody, that's what bothers me. Just short side note, I get it because like I felt the smallest amount of cancellation with the Jake Paul series, and I think the thing that bothers me the most about any of this isn't the fact that like people don't like it or they don't agree with things. That's fine, and I'd own up, okay, maybe I should have said it this way, or maybe I shouldn't have read from the DSM, or whatever people's complaints were. But it's the people who hop onto this to make money off of the fact that all they do is like shit talk someone. And I'm like, that's the part that bothers me. If there's like a learning, I'm like, I own up, okay, if I did something wrong, it's fine, I apologize. But when people want to pretend to know me when they don't, or know you, or that's what bothers me.
Yes.
But that's what like the whole social media, like it spins out of control, and then you can't open your phone, and I hate that.
And I think like everything, you learn from everything, and everything does affect you in a way. And I think people who maybe like make a living doing that, or were talking badly about me or whatever, even if they think I deserved it, I always know that person will learn something from that at some point. Like everything really is, like even for me, like I regret so many of my old videos, but I regret more like making fun of celebrities.
Really?
Like that is really high up there for me. Like I remember when I first started YouTube, I was doing a lot because I love Mad TV. That was like
I love Mad TV.
That was hilarious. Why doesn't Shane Dawson do his own Mad TV? Please.
This is so okay. This is how dark it got. So I'm, debating whether I want to, anyways. It got dark.
It was dark.
And then I pulled it, and I heard about Cameo. People were talking about Cameo all the time. I got a Cameo from, and as I didn't say who I was. Like I wasn't like I'm a YouTuber. I literally like got cameos under like my middle name kind of thing. Just telling me it's going to be okay. It's so sad. This is so dark. Why am I saying this?
But you were reaching out. You were being resourceful.
Sad. I was trying to explain to her like what I do.
There you go. So that was his cancellation moment. I think that Shane Dawson, like what thing I'm noticing from this podcast is that he keeps saying like everything's a learning moment, and he's seeing everything objectively, and it's almost like he's reached a new enlightenment. Watching this, a whole new enlightenment. He's watching it. He's like, okay, so and so saying this about me, but you know what? I feel bad for them because they don't really know the tea. They're not there yet. They'll get there eventually. And for him to think that, you really had to do a lot of shadow work, a lot of growth to not be triggered by what used to trigger you. That makes sense? So I really applaud Shane Dawson for coming this far. Because this podcast really shows a lot of growth in him personally, in him mentally. And then not only that, if you look at him, he looks totally different. He's lost so much weight. So physically, he looks different too as well. My final thoughts. All right, so my final thoughts are, I think this is the best podcast that Katie Morton has ever done. I think this is going to get lots of views from the Shane Dawson community, from people who didn't like Shane Dawson. I think they're going to revisit this and possibly give him a second chance. But this hasn't stopped him. He's still putting out his podcast. He's still going on adventures and filming it. Sad to say, like, I missed the old Shane Dawson content, the stuff that was like the Mad TV stuff. But I found it to be funny. Making fun of celebrities, I thought that was funny. Making fun of locales. Like, there's a sense of humor there that, like, what was funny 15, 16 years ago is not funny today. When you look back at it in that time, it was like, oh my God, this is so outrageous. Like, and I think that Shane Dawson grew from that. I think this proves that here. But it doesn't matter what I think about this. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. I've always loved Shane Dawson from all his videos. I don't agree with everything he's done in the past. I'm sure he doesn't agree with stuff I've done in the past either. With that being said, like, I've always been such a fan, a supporter of Shane Dawson. I got to meet him a few times. The guy was absolutely hilarious. He was funny. He was just a regular, down-to-earth person. And I'm laughing because he's just a comedian. He's a natural comedian. And I think that stuff that upsets me about Shane is I wish he would lean more into that. Like if this was a challenge, like on like some type of game show or something, I'll be like, lean into that. Like, make your own Mad TV. Like, make your own version of that. People would tune in and watch that if he made it. Make your horror documentary, your horror film movie. Make that. Revisit some of the people that you shot videos with. I mean, people would love to see Shane Dawson visit Eugenia Cooney again, and Shane Dawson again, and Graveyard Girl again, and spark up the downfall of the beauty community. Like, what happened? Why aren't people buying that much makeup anymore? Like, what did it pop? What's going on? What is trending in the beauty world? Like, so much more. And like, I'm sitting here and talking about Shane Dawson, and I literally have the mirror right here. I still have it. This is what 7 years old or something. I still have this mirror in great condition too. Look at that. But it's such a great thing. Like, it was a time. You just had to be there, and I love it. I have the pig backpack. I have all the merch, and oh my God, it was a good time. But anyways, let me know what you think about that in the chat down below. This is Rich Life with the Hottest Tea on YouTube. Mwah.